we could use these kinds of technologies, this is it. This is game changing. This will be a part of every industry throughout the world in the next few years.
What's up, Trip Nation? My name's Tony Delgado, and I want you to smash the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell so that you get post notifications every single time that we drop a new video. Now let's get into it. What's up, Trip Nation? My name's Tony Delgado, and here I'm with the legendary Mike Mumola. Mike, thank you so much for being here, my friend.
Thank you for having me, brother.
So we're here, we're in Puerto Rico, and you're here in town for Crypto Week, Blockchain Week.
Yes.
And really excited, meeting with a lot of investors, a lot of highly influential people. I know you have a lot of exciting projects that we're going to dive into in a little bit. But before we dive into that, I want to talk a little bit about the cryptocurrency ecosystem here in Puerto Rico and what has been your experience here on the island. It's
been really exciting. I'm so thrilled to see how many people are just diving in, open-minded. So I talk to everyone from, the Uber drivers to the people that I'm seeing out that are not even part of the conference, aren't even part of the events, just everybody embracing it, man. So it shows that, where the mindset is and how everybody's being so progressive. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, man. The ecosystem here in Puerto Rico has definitely been flourishing in the last few years. There are a lot of people who are coming to Puerto Rico to take advantage of the tax incentive program, Act 2022, now called Act 60, where people are coming down and experiencing 0% capital gains just by relocating down here.
Yeah, it's a big deal. There's an old saying, I've been around a long time, and one of the oldest sayings that I can remember when I got into business is, it's not what you make, it's what you keep.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that's my favorite, one of my favorite sayings as well. I want to give Uncle Sam his cut, but not a penny more, right?
That's it.
So to be able to come down here and get a break on your capital gains, only pay 4% corporate tax is really a crazy incentive that's not seen anywhere else in the United States.
Yeah, there are a lot of smart people making a lot of smart moves, and I am really happy to see that Puerto Rico is a part of it. I came here from, I'm fresh off of Art Basel and NFT Basel in Miami, where that was where my trip was going to end with all the things we were doing there. And then so many of the people that were involved in all the events and things happening there were coming here. And they said, you have to come to Puerto Rico. Next stop. So okay, cancel the trip, reroute. Here we are. Welcome. So it's been incredible. So yeah.
Very, very cool. So I want to talk a little bit about your backstory in business and finance, and now the decentralized finance and cryptocurrency spaces. So how did you get started in business? And then where did your business journey, how did it lead you into Decentraland?
Yeah, great question. So, I've been an entrepreneur literally as long as I can remember. I grew up single mother, one sister, so I grew up pretty fast, and money for me was always the way to help myself and help the people I love. So I started to figure out early on how to make it. And, I remember my mother would give me 50 cents to go to school for the school lunch. I would stop at the deli with the 50 cents, buy candy, go to school, sell the candy, have $1.25, have money for my lunch, have money for the overage. And so I just kind of implemented that approach to life, and found my way into college, found my way into law school, created a law firm. That was one of my first entrepreneurial endeavors back almost 20 years ago now. And from that opportunity, I learned a lot over 2 decades, and I had an opportunity to work with some truly remarkable people. So I started to build companies. I started to build relationships, meaningful relationships with powerful people, and in large part started to migrate away from the hands-on practice of law on a daily basis and start working really in a place that I can make a bigger difference in the world for people. And for me, a lot of the things that exist now, specifically through technology, cryptocurrency, NFTs, blockchain, psychedelics, all of these things are helping people in a way that were never available before. So we're helping people financially, we're helping them spiritually, we're helping them in whatever way we can, that for many people didn't exist or people didn't know about. So for me, it's been really exciting, and to have the opportunity to leverage a lot of the relationships that I've made over the last 20 years and to help people in their lives with them is just something that it gets me out. Not only gets me out of bed, it launches me out of bed every morning. I wake up and what's next? Who are we going to help today?
Yeah, definitely.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, as an entrepreneur, one of your biggest consultants and confidants is your lawyer and your accountant, right? Those are the two people as an
Those are your
entrepreneur you
team,
need.
man.
Yeah, you got to keep them in close respects and close regard. So I would imagine that you've probably worked with a lot of huge companies during your career in law, right? In consulting them on what's the next step, what's the next decision, how do you position things strategically, and now having you work hands on with companies and helping them execute on that strategy from a business development side is incredible. And then now to bring it back into the world of cryptocurrency. So now, when did you get involved in the world of crypto, and how did that come about?
I've been investing in crypto for about 7 years now. So just under 7 years. I got in, I heard the word Bitcoin and I was like, what is that? And started to figure it out. And that was, I mentor a lot of people. I coach a lot of people. And people often think that means, okay, you have to have somebody with gray hair that's older, that's been there, done that. And that's very often the case, but very often it isn't. And I heard the word Bitcoin for the first time from somebody who was probably 20 years younger than me. They became my mentors. What is this? Tell me more. And that open-mindedness, I think, is what either helps us become what we should be or not, depending on our ability to kind of step into that. And so as soon as I started to learn about it, I said, this is incredible. This is, when we can take the idea of decentralization. So, historically, we've had centralization of banking globally for the last 200 years. And there's not much you can do about it until now. And so through the power of technology, Bitcoin and all of the other cryptocurrencies, decentralization, to put the power back into the people's hands, that massive potential to just shift power and wealth back into the individual hands of the people, that captured me immediately. And so I was down that rabbit hole. I've been investing in crypto, like I said, for about 7 years, meeting a lot of the people in the spaces. And then, ultimately, when I heard about this new exciting thing called NFTs about 6 or 7 months ago, the beginning of 2021 was when I first heard about it. It applied everything that I loved about crypto. But then when I recognized the technology of NFTs as an attorney, I said, wait a minute, this is like, there's a technology that allows us to authenticate something immediately. Then it's immutable, meaning it can't be changed or transferred. It gets stamped into the blockchain. Everybody could see it. We could use these kinds of technologies. This is it. This is game changing. This will be a part of every industry throughout the world in the next few years. And so I kind of went all in on that. So now I'm investing in NFT companies, aside from what I do with the crypto companies and individuals there, investing in NFT companies, investing in the people that are a part of those things. I collect them. And so I'm so excited about what's happening in the world because I see the potential for humanity on an individual level, which is what excites me.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting because what Bitcoin and crypto did for money and finance, now NFTs is doing for music and artists and creators and communities, right? Whereas before you kind of needed a record label, right, to get your song out there. You needed an art gallery to get your art out there. And there were all these middlemen and all these kind of cigar-filled rooms.
Yeah.
And you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And quick backstory, that was what initially, drew me into the practice of law. I wanted to go in. I'd always been surrounded by musicians and creatives, and I wanted to help musicians. I wanted to help them because I saw what the labels were doing to them. And I didn't think, here they are giving us one of the most beautiful things we've ever experienced in our lives, the gift of song, the gift of playwrights, the gift of artists. And here are these business people with these big organizations and institutions taking from them. And the whole concept of a starving artist wasn't just a concept, it's real. A lot of these creatives were starving. And so I went into this to say, how can we help them? And unfortunately, the technology didn't exist then. But like you just so appropriately indicated, it does now. And so now cutting out all of the middlemen, giving us a peer-to-peer opportunity to transact with the content creators, the creatives themselves, and do it in a way so that we can build community on an individual level. Powerful stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible, and there's a lot of wealth getting generated, right? But there's also a lot of opportunities for people who are new, right? Undiscovered artists are getting discovered on these platforms and having unique opportunities they never had.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. There's been such the kind of like a filter in life, and I've met some of. We were at a party last night, and one of the greatest voices you've ever heard, but you haven't heard her on the radio. You haven't seen her, on mainstream TV. And throughout my life, I've encountered just such incredibly talented individuals in every walk. And they just, if they weren't tapped by the right organization or institution, most of the world never knew about them. Now they will. Right now, through the technology of NFTs, they will. And so that's incredible. That hasn't existed in the past.
So the NFT space is definitely not very mature. Where do you see it going in the next, I don't even want to say 5 to 10 years, more like 5 to 10 months, right? Where do you see it in the next couple of years?
Man, months are years in this space right now. It's right. Like if you fall off for a week or two, you've missed a lot, and it's moving at the speed of light. And the good thing is, like, I probably talk to 3 to 5 people a day, whether it's people that I'm coaching or want to come into my coaching community or be mentored or whatever, or just people on the street, and they say, I know nothing about NFTs. I don't know anything. And I say, well, here's the good news. You're only 6 months behind the rest of the world, right? So you can catch up. This isn't something where people have been doing it for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. And
Yeah,
say, wow,
the expert's only 6 months
the
ahead of
expert
you.
only picked up the stuff, a few weeks ago, a few months ago. So, they can get caught up. So to answer your question, I think we're going to start seeing, like I said, infiltration into every industry. Industries will start figuring out how they can apply the technology of NFTs to what they do specifically, whether it's the law, whether it's banking, whether it's healthcare, whether it's entertainment, all of those things, because they're still figuring it out. We get calls, I get calls, companies I'm affiliated with or consult with get calls to say, hey, we're this transnational, multi-billion-dollar company, but we have no idea what we're going to do with NFTs. Can you give us a hand? So everybody's still figuring it out. And to your point, I don't think it'll take anywhere near, like you said, 5 or 10 years. The next year or two is really going to start to do that. That's on the utility side of things. With regard to the collectibles, we're seeing a whole migration from the, quote, natural world into the virtual world, right? Virtual land, I've been telling people for months, I believe virtual land will be as valuable or more valuable than real land when you look out the window. There are so many benefits to it, and we could see with the amount of money that's being spent on virtual land now, people are coming in, they're building, developing, that's going to start to happen. We're going to start seeing more and more utility, whether it's in the collectibles themselves, virtual land, a combination of those things, where people are making money from their NFTs, because that's what's happening, right? I can buy an NFT and I can what's called stake it, and I can start spinning off passive revenue. And this goes, I know you do a lot of incredible things with financial literacy. This goes to the point of, like, most people don't really know how to make money. They learn one way, and that's by trading their time. So I go to work, I punch in, I make my money, I finish my day, I punch out and I leave. And that's where my making money stops, because a lot of our education isn't focused on really teaching people how to thrive. That's where people like you are really, I believe, saving the planet. And so with NFTs, this is just one more way to do that, where it's really exciting. So you have, like I said, people that trade their time for money. That's one way. Then the next level of that are people like you who employ others. So now I can make money not only off of my efforts, but off of the efforts of others. And that's another way. And then the next step to that is by having your money work for you, right? So when I talk to people, I say, you should look at every one of your dollars like an employee, like a little warrior that wants to go out there and fight for you. And so when you can put your money to work for you, that's working for you while you're sleeping, and you wake up in the morning and you have more money than you went to bed with, that's a great thing. Well, NFTs allow you to do that. I can buy this thing, I can stake it, and it starts spinning off revenue for me. That's an incredible opportunity for people now that, most of these people didn't have these kinds of opportunities early on. You couldn't get in, you couldn't get into certain IPOs or opportunities in the stock market and things. Now they're going to start tokenizing buildings and massive works of art. And I can buy a sliver of maybe, the Mona Lisa. I don't know if they'll do the Mona Lisa, but something like that. Or I could buy a sliver of the Empire State Building, and, the people that were generating those kinds of profits from the Empire State Building, now I have an opportunity to share in that kind of revenue. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as far as the impact that NFTs are having on society, I mean, there's so much more than just the artistic side of things. You mentioned real estate, right? Decentralizing real estate. Also, identity is really big. We take it for granted here in the United States that everybody has a passport, everybody has a birth certificate. But in emerging markets like places in Africa, certain places in Latin America, you're not guaranteed to have an ID. Right. And so people are underbanked, and they're underbanked because a lot of them do not have identification, and identification is a problem. So blockchain can solve that.
Blockchain can solve that. It is solving that, man. You're speaking to my heart. We have a crypto project that I'm personally working on where we just translated it into 9 African languages. Because like you said, if those individuals in that country or on that continent don't do certain things that are required politically or not, then they're unbanked. You can't get into the bank. I can't have a bank account. Well, because I believe this or don't believe that. So now we're providing an opportunity with blockchain technology through decentralization with crypto. And then there will be some tokens and DAOs and other things that give people the opportunity to participate in the global economy, even though the banks say you can't come in and play. So that's amazing.
Yeah. It's such a life-changing opportunity. It's an amazing time that we are living in here. What do you think? There's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of mirrors in the whole metaverse NFT space. Zuckerberg announcing he's changing the name of Facebook. What do you think differentiates a successful NFT project from something that's like a fly-by-night kind of one hit wonder?
One word, man, and it's community. When you see these projects that are thriving, it's because of the community. What's the community doing to help the community? Like the old adage, a rising tide lifts all ships. Like, what is this community doing so that we all win? Because it's that whole, hey, man, when I get up there, I'm going to hand the ladder down so that you can come up. And we keep doing that. The successful NFT projects, they're building communities that are doing that.
Incredible. So, Mike, I have one last question. I know we're running low on time. You have a flight back.
Yes.
But
I want to come back here. This is great.
But my last question is, what does the word disrupt mean to you?
Opportunity. So like in the face of chaos, there's opportunity. When there's disruption in any form. There was a saying that I remember very clearly from law school, and it was today's dissent is tomorrow's law. So disruption means that you're on the brink of something new, right? And that's it. When we say to ourselves we're willing to disrupt, like blockchain is with the economy, or like in any other industry, something is different, that creates an entirely new opportunity. So disruption brings that originality, that opportunity, and I think the potential for whatever you want or you believe in life, despite what might be existing in the traditional sense.
Yeah. Mike, thank you so much again for being on the show.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
Boom! It's a wrap. That's good, man.
What's up, Disrupt Nation? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found value from this video, I want to ask you for a favor. I want you to hit the like button, but more important than that, I want you to hit share, and I want you to send this video to a friend, a family member, a business partner, and share the value with other people. And if you have any questions for me, please drop them in the comment section below. I do my best to answer all questions personally. And make sure that you smack the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you get notified next time we drop a new video. All right, I'll see you in the next one.
Subscribe now.